Good afternoon. My name is Susanna, and these are my colleagues Federica, Alessandra, Susanna, and Leila. And we are The Group. We are a marketing agency specialized in the third sector, and we provide solutions for leading charities across UK in branding corporate communications. And we are known as a marketing agency that bring a different and fun message to our clients. So, well, first I'm going to start with a briefing about WizKids. And the thing that struck most of our attention about WizKids is how it was founded. It was created 25 years ago, and it started as an inspiring moment of independence. The founder, Mike, he was inspired by a disabled kid that showed that wheelchair is not equipment only. It means for the disabled kid independence. So this is going to be our main message. So from that moment on, the charity has been transforming lives of disabled children, and from that inspiring cause, our challenge is to create a cutting-edge regional IMC campaign to sustain WizKids' growth and therefore ensure that disabled kids they're empowered to be more independent.
Okay, for the brand positioning, it is for disabled kids who need the equipment and the personal skills to overcome their daily life barriers. WizKids is a national charity that empowers children to be more independent, and unlike the other charities which are focused on kids' mobilities, we really involve our children to be part of our story.
Okay, I'm going to go through a very quick idea of where we come from and where, so then in base, or where do we go. Basically, we know that charity is a very competitive market segment. It's really hard to stand out. So consequently, people relate to familiarity to see where, if they're going to give the money or if they're going to help. Is really based on what is personal to them. And we also found out that youngers donate a little bit less than older people. So this is kind of a behavior of this whole new generations. But they are willing to give money, they are willing to help, they want a better world, they want to engage. But they are tired of just being asked for money. They want to engage, they want to be challenged to see how far they can go for a cause that they believe. For educational institutions, some of the key things that we found was that secondary schools, they donate in average more than the other educational institutions. And another key important thing is that being part of a charity, being part of a cause, or it actually helps with the CV, with employability. It's something good to have on your career prospection. And then for corporates, and here we're talking about small corporates. We wanted to find a gap. We wanted to find something that no one actually is approaching. And we found that startups are really powerful because they are in numbers, they are a lot, and they have the higher growth potential on the market. So even though they have a lower initial investment, they have potential to growth. They have a lot of younger people working with them, so the workforce is really digitally connected, which help us to spread the world and create and build this relationship with them. However, the lower points that we found is that there's a huge lack of trust into charities. So people they have to see the impact. They don't see the impact, the results very clearly because maybe the communication is not that clear, it's not that good. I'm sorry. And then there's also a very low frequency of donation. And this is very important because in WizKids we actually found that this was really strong. Even though they communicate their cause, they show the faces of the kids, they have the videos, they don't have a very steady and strong relationship with the fundraisers and the donors. So myself, I donated, I just received one email as a feedback and nothing else later. So this actually helps to make me forget the brand or the cause or the institution.
So from this challenging marketplace, we have built some IMC objectives. So the overarching business objective is to increase 25% of the regional income in next year, 2016, therefore reaching £750,000. Bear in mind the regional involves Kent, Sussex, and London. And by then, 33% increase from that desired income in 2017, therefore reaching 1 million. So to reach this business objective, we have outlined two major marketing objectives divided by acquisition and retention strategies. So the acquisition, we believe the acquisition is going to represent in this first year 70% of the desired income, because the key issue that WizKids has to address this year, in the following year, is to raise awareness. It's about the low awareness of the cause. But we don't only want their share of mind, we want their share of heart. We want them to engage with us, with our cause. So this is how we divide it, acquisition and retention. And these marketing objectives will be underpinned by these following IMC objectives, divided by the target audience. So as you can see, here in the acquisition, we're going to focus on universities and schools, startups, and individual donors. And the retention, we're going to work on our current database. My colleagues will further explain with more details, but the overarching message of our campaign is empower the cause. So as you can see, we have used the message of empower in every single touch point. And for that, we're going to use these following tools and channels. So PR, advertising, digital media, events, organization, direct marketing, and personal selling.
We're going to have different targets for our different strategies. We're going to acquire new donors and fundraisers, as well as retaining the ones that we have. For acquisition, we're going to look at individual donors. Our target that we've chosen is 25 to 34-year-olds, BC1. That is because they are usually people who have just started to have an income, like earning money, or they're looking for jobs. And the fact that they'll be able to contribute to this charity will enhance their skills to find better jobs and hopefully go up the career ladder much faster. And hopefully the more successful they become in their career, the more they will donate towards our charity. Also we're going, and they are also very social media savvy as well. That's very important, that's why we've chosen. We're also going to look at institutions in London, so we're going to look at secondary schools and universities. The reason that we chose secondary schools over primary schools is that the research that we did found that secondary schools are 6 times, they are more likely to donate than primary schools, and the figures were 6 times larger than primary schools on average. And we're looking to visit 15 institutions per month, which would consist of, we're going to look at startups as well. And the reason that we chose startups is because they are very motivated people, they have a positive attitude, and hopefully the more successful we build a good relationship with them, the more successful they become, the more they'll be willing to contribute to us. And we're looking to visit 15 of them, so we want 5 secondary schools, 5 universities, and 5 startups, and with the return rate of 30%. So if 5 of them respond to us, we'll be hitting our goal. And with retention, we just want to re-engage with the people that we already have in the database. So this is what we have. This is the breakdown of what we think will be for the, based on our calculations. The largest amount will be for individuals, which is 42%, followed by universities, about 30%. And then we have the retention. For startups, it will be the lowest amount because usually they are very cash poor and they don't have much liquidity. So we hope to build a relationship, and then later on we can maybe get some money. So I'm going to talk about the strategies now. So the first one that we talked about was acquisition. About the individual donors, the main concept that we're going to introduce is empowering independence. That is because what WizKids does is to support the kids emotionally and physically, to give them the feel of independence through helping them, basically, to empower them through giving them the feel of independence. So what we're going to do is to generate a buzz about the concept, to engage people. And on the second stage, we're going to ask them to create videos of themselves, of a moment of independence, or how they helped a friend become independent. These could be small little things on a daily basis that we take for granted, but for the kids it's very difficult to do and they need some help. So these will be like videos to engage people to
The cause.
to the cause, yeah. And lastly, the most important bit is the event. This is to give we're going to have an event for the donors to meet the kids. This will provide more transparency and it will build more trust to the donors, and they'll be more encouraged to donate because they can connect with the kids, they can see the evidence, they can see the results, they can see where their money is going and how much they're helping the kids. And they will see the smile on the kids' faces, and hopefully they'll be encouraged to donate even more. Thank you.
Okay, just going to the tactic of the IMC for this first campaign. This is important because this is how we are going to deliver the concept and the storyline that we have. So basically we are focusing a lot on social media because, as we said before, it's the potential within the corporates, within the startups, within the individual owners. Here we are using social media in the first stage. We separate in three stages. So the first stage is generating buzz, as Leila said. So basically, we are going to put some media on YouTube TrueView on these small videos, which are like little short stories with art teasers. We're not telling the concept yet. It's just teasers of those little funny things that you help a friend to overcome a situation. And we are also going to do some campaigns that are have a big impact in many people around London and around with people who are traveling to London, from London, Kent and Sussex, on Waterloo, and some the tube sheet escalators, because we think that it has a very visual impact. So because this is really the teaser, we need to create this huge curiosity before, and then on the second stage, we're delivering the cause. We're delivering okay, what's this thing about? What is this independence talking about? What is this independence concept? So in the second stage, the first stage, we are also driving all the call to actions to a hot site where people will visit and have the whole concept of the campaign. In this one, we're keeping the media, but then we switch from teasers to actually videos of the campaign, of the concept. We're still having the same hashtag. We're going through Facebook media, video cases, YouTube TrueView again, promoting hashtags on Twitter. So basically this is, again, doing a lot of awareness, a lot of buzz on the social media. But then we have the side of the event, which are PR to generate earned media about the campaign and the Independence Day, the event in fact. And we also have direct marketing to invite our current database to come to the event, to be part of this cause, to engage with the concept. And the last stage is the event itself. So we are going to do some live streaming, content on our medias, Periscope, because we might engage with younger audiences, and the measures, which are basically social media, media clipping, analytics and stuff.
Okay, so this is our program for startups. The main message is empower exchange. So this is a very fun and enjoyable experience for the startup. So we want to inspire startups members to embrace the cause and donate and also have fun. So basically the idea is that employees are challenged to control their daily habits, so for example smoking or saying wrong words or anything, by paying a fee every time they do it, which will be converted to donation. In order to, with those donations, kids will allocate a beneficiary, a kid, for each startup to build this close relationship between a beneficiary and the startup's members. And of course, besides this fundraising, we're going to encourage mentoring from these startups members to these kids. And for that, we're going to use personal selling, which means face-to-face pitch meetings with startup C-level executives, going to events, regional associations. PR, which is to follow up the startup to ensure that they are engaged and they understand the concept. And we believe that this is, we're going to persuade them to join us because it benefits the reputation, CSR for the organization, and for employees, community spirit, and fun experience.
Just to let you know, you've got 3.5 minutes.
Okay. So for schools and universities, the key message is empower knowledge. So we are going to advocate the cause and influence the key opinion leaders, encouraging them to include the mobility issue, the mobility topic into the academic curriculum. So we will have pitch meeting with teachers and the managing board through face-to-face visits. And we'll also persuade the staff to use the mobility issues as an important and valuable topic to use into essays, projects, and case study in order to raise awareness within the students. In this case, PR is crucial as a tool to ensure continuous engagement with the institution. And it will have also multiple benefits, both for the organization, for schools and university, as it boosts to increase their reputations and CSR, and also for students, as it's important for them as they can acquire important skills for their employability.
Our second objective here is to fundraise, basically. So what we're going to do is organize a championship between universities and schools. We're going to do it through a hot site where they can see the fixture, they can see the rankings and how the donations are going. And also we're going to allocate or pair a brand ambassador, to each school, so they will be represented by an organization.
So retention is very quick. We're going to do engaging things. We're going to deliver email marketing and newsletter to our database, basically to re-engage and make them re-engage with us.
Okay, this is a calendar about for 2 years. The first year, the whole concept is about independence. That we already talked about it. And the second year, we're going to switch the topic to mobility issues. What we want here is, as already our people, our targets are engaged with the cause. Now what we want to do is let them support us in our mission to
actually talk with the mobility issue to change public policies and make, for example, like government and supporting stakeholders.
Okay, so the investment versus the income. The goal for next year is 750,000, and our project investment is 60,600. We calculate this with the retention and acquisition campaign. We came up with this number, and the ROI for that is 11.36. For 2017, our income goal is 1 million, which is 33% more. So we associate that with the investment, so we also projected it 33% more as well. And the ROI here will be 11.39. The thing here is that what we're going to try is to lower our costs by making more media partnerships, so this ROI can increase in the benefit of the charity. And that's it. Thank you.
Sorry, it was nervous, makes everything
25 seconds over. Well done.
Was calculated
in our minds. It's just the emotionals.
Yeah.
They go into the way.
That's good. That's good. So, one of the things I thought was very good, by the way, the Independence Day event, which seemed to be the thing that it was heading towards. I didn't quite work out what was going to happen on Independence Day.
Okay, so basically our idea is to bring up every beneficiary that we helped, kids helped, to Trafalgar Square to have a celebration of their independence.
To make them
For them
visible.
to meet.
to make
Right,
it
okay.
visible what all the donations have been through.
Right,
So-
okay.
So yeah, it was more of this is our idea to show that this is the money that you're giving to to us is actually helping people. They go somewhere.
Any questions?
No, again, I thought it was very good. A lot in that was to take in, but I did get the impression that there was an overall master plan going on.
Yeah.
You had set out your objectives very clearly, and you had a route to how it was going to happen, which I thought was impressive. And it sort of pretty well hangs together.
And you focused very much on year one, but you also had a vision for
Yes.
year two,
Yes, yes.
which was nice.
That, I think, is a little bit of a complicating issue for us, how do you do that? But you tackled it very well, I thought.
Because the idea is first raise awareness, build engagement, and with this engaged audience, they're going to support us in driving the mobility issue, as for example to enhance accessibility in the regionally.
Yeah, it's around the concern about the mobility issue. So it's like not pressuring the government, but kind of make more.
The more
public
people
policies
talk, the
Yeah.
more
for
you
feedback.
get.
Yeah,
It's lobbying.
And great that you had that kind of lobbying,
Yes.
sort of greater
Public affairs.
vision part of it.
Can you go back to your pie chart where you divided where the income was going to come back from? It was quite near the beginning.
Right in the beginning.
Just
I
here.
think that was it, yeah. Okay. One of them you said you were going to go to I remember that you were going to 15 and therefore you thought 5 were going to donate.
Can we go back?
It's about time.
Oh yes, so basically how the numbers were calculated was, for example, for the targets, we're going to target 190,000 people, and for each of those targets we assume that we're going to have 30% return. So that's how the pie chart was created. So
Okay.
that those numbers...
So what I think I was going to ask is here, this was schools and universities and startups, you were
Exactly.
only wanting five
Per month.
each or five overall?
5 visits per month.
Per
we
month.
want, because we wanted to be realistic. Sophie's only one for regional.
So you
and-
want 5 institutions to sign up each month?
No, they have to visit in total
15.
15.
Or
From those
so
15 organizations they visit, at least we need to respond
5
30%.
Universities,
Five
we have
in total.
schools
It doesn't have
and
to be
startups.
five,
Okay,
And
what I would have liked to have seen is some indication of what an average donation is, whether you're looking at especially in the individuals.
Sure, we have the table.
We have the table, we just didn't put it because it was
Too much
too much numbers.
information.
So the idea that really, again, for when you go on to your IMCs, if you're doing this, I would expect to say,
So-
this is an average donation.
Sure, just
Okay.
Therefore, this is how many
Sure.
people we have to engage with.
Sure. For individuals, our research showed that it's usually £10 per person. So I use £10 and we use £10. And for secondary schools, the average was 6,000. So we used 6,000. As an
Again,
average.
you weren't explicit on push and pull, but from the way you were doing it in terms of going to them, getting them to
Yeah.
sign up, and then thinking about the event, in your written IMCs, that push and pull factor
Okay.
will need to
I
come
think
out.
the personal selling is the
Yeah,
push.
is the push,
And you
yes.
put that out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way
Just
you
not
use
using the
tools is good.
terms, and you will need to make that under that heading in when you write that. Fine, yes, it's very good.
Just on presentation, please, Susan, I think it would be better if you don't talk to the,
Ah,
you're making
okay.
a lot of very good points,
All
but,
right.
you know, they're lost if you're,
And for
talking to
everybody
the
else, if you
screen.
try and use the screen, the laptop, as the prompt for what it is that you're,
What's happening?
what's coming next, because then you're projecting forward and you're not turning it back. It's a really simple thing, but it's great having it in front.
It
If
is,
you've not got
yes.
that there, it really makes a difference. You notice it in lecture theatres. If there's nothing there, the lecturer has to keep.
And it's easier because it's smaller, so you know your eyes focus on there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think the other thing is that I think it's quite good that, having said that the younger people donate less, you actually justified why you were going to them because you wanted a lifetime connection, so
It's
it's a
growth
lifetime
connection.
value that you're
Yes.
looking at.
Yeah, we created, of course we didn't show because it wasn't necessary, but we created the hands-off analysis exactly to see, okay, are we going to stay the same or are we going to try reach a new markets?
Potential target.
So we said like, let's try to reach some new people, bring this fresh, engaged young people.
And this fits exactly with the social media, with engagement, with how we're going to approach the target audience.
Yeah, very good, very good. Well done. Well done.